A little too familiar with the grotesque. Well, 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 Gale.
Simple.
Let's see what the necromancer was hiding. And elixir of necrotic resistance. Yeah. Core Brim Hat. Once per turn, any condition inflicted on a target also applies 2 turns of encrusted with frost. Not really applying conditions. Oh well.
No one back home will ever believe this.
So, some research
The
notes.
necromancer was experimenting on the tadpoles, but they were already imbued with Netherese magic. So where did that magic come from?
And who's applying that? I've redirected some materials from beneath the tower. I plan to simply raise what forces I need inside the mausoleum itself, but the general prefers that no more of his family crits be disturbed. Maybe understandable. Even so, I may have no choice. The temple will not surrender the Night Song easily. And there we have the artifact Night Song again. And the generous invulnerability depends on it. I'm sure he will forgive a little transgression if it frees the army to move on Baldur's Gate at last. Well, well.
This night song sounds like the source of Ketheric's immortality.
Curious name. It sounds more like a bird than a font of power.
Its powers could prove useful, especially if turned against Ketheric himself.
Finding it may
you
be
with some
easier
dead
said than
pixies.
done.
But yeah, I guess that's how he fixed the moon lanterns, right? Just trapping poor pixies inside.
Carved into the bench's rotted surface a strange, half-faded sigil.
I think this is not supposed to look
a
like
magic
that.
circle of some kind, thick with darkness and decay.
A ritual circle. And a complex one at that. I've seen such a construction before in the writings of the Weave Pasha Raven, though his vision was not so tainted.
What is its purpose? That thing still looks buggy. I wonder why. But yeah, it really does look buggy.
The sigils are written in a curious mix of tongues. Ancient Kalashite, Netherese.
Yeah, we have the
Something else I
Netherese
can't quite
magic.
make out. If I'm reading it correctly, it was used in the creation of moon lanterns. It's been
I guess that's
mostly
what bound
drained,
them to the moon lantern.
but even now contains a powerful dose of shadow weave. The discarded pixie corpses might still contain enough essence. With one of the broken lantern casements,
It has been buggy since a few
I
patches.
think I'll be able to
Ah, that
craft one more
sucks.
lantern. And with a slight modification of the casting gesture, it might be able to wield the shadows instead of repelling them. Though, Mistress' eyes may be upon me. She'd forbid me dabbling with such magic. She'd want it destroyed. Wasted, arguably.
Forget what Mistra wants. Think about yourself and what Lady Shah's power could do for you, Gale. Make the lantern. Spread her will.
Don't spread Shah's will. Really, really don't. Because yeah, even though they don't explain it, the Shadow Weave is basically like a very weak, like way less powerful, but counterpart of the Weave under Shah's control. Never devil Shah and anything she does. Destroy this foul thing before it pollutes any further.
Some room, then, if you please.
It doesn't
Don't
take
sigh
much.
at me.
The sigils fade, the circle's tainted magic dissolving harmlessly into the ether.
Oh, the poor pixies.
Not bad for a wizard who
Mr.
slept
wants
through his
to,
Kalashite
wants to
lessons,
kill
eh?
yourself, Gale. Yeah. Don't mess with her. And also just don't turn to Shah. Ooh, Mistress Benevolence. Gale has advantage on concentration checks. See? Was good for something.
Did you feel that?
I think if you actually embrace
I
it, you
wasn't
just get like
surrounded on
another
all sides by
spell
the
slot,
darkness
right?
of the shadow cursed lands. I'd think it was Mistra herself brushing against my skin.
Mistra can't enter the Shadow Cursed lands.
curse that afflicts the land appears to be a manifestation of an incredible amount of dark magic. The sword manifested through the Shadow Weave and is an altogether
course,
different
Koshar
form
curses.
of magic, drawn from the negative spaces left in the Weave's wake. It is Shah's domain, not Mistress. I'm surprised she would risk making contact here, however briefly. She's left some tiny part of herself to watch over me, I think. A boon to help us reach the heart of the Absolute in one piece.
Then again, she's probably also observing him to make sure that he's going to kill himself in the right moment, right? Interesting. Shah's domain and not Mistress. But good try. Good try. Very unforeseen. Given all we're up against, I'm grateful for the help.
Strange, though, that she would reward me for such a service now. She's hardly been forthcoming on that front since my banishment. Perhaps I'm overthinking things. A blessing's a blessing. And this one should come in
very
most useful.
complex, as are all gods. I love how we're still drunk and just like exploring this highly dangerous place. Like, nah, what could go wrong? Intelligence 0. Let's see if there's something outside. Ooh, a chart prayer book. Let's read it. My dark goddess. When I lost my daughter, I learned my purpose. My dark goddess. When I learned my purpose, I gathered the flock. My dark goddess. When the flock was full, I punished the wicked. My dark goddess. When the wicked struggled, I struck them down. My dark goddess. I am yours. Yeah, quite sure that that's from Ketheric, who lost his daughter. Come on, we don't have the key for that door?
Hardly a challenge.
Then go for it, Astarion. Hardly a challenge, DC 30. It's like the biggest challenge you can have. Nice. You climb up there getting a floor
Keep it
above.
together.
Where? Where do you climb up? You just have to jump. Ah, up here. Oh, I remember this
Need to find
interaction.
a way forward.
I'm curious if it's going to be changed by the Dark Urge. But here with Squire, the General's Warhound.
Stand, soldier. These are the General's private quarters. Wait,
Poor dog.
something
Just a
in
cute
your
dog.
scent is familiar.
It recognizes us. I wonder if it's good or bad. Disadvantage drunk. Oh boy. I'm not sure if we were friendly to that dog, but Lavender stay still and let her smell him.
I do not know your face, but your scent. Selûnite magic.
Oh.
It used to fill these halls back when I was flesh. Since my master brought me back, this place smells wrong. His family is gone, replaced by bootlickers and beasts. You are neither. So tell me true. What is your purpose here?
I wonder if the dog actually smells the magic or just like Isabel, I guess. Should we go and just say, I only want to stop the Absolute? Because, I mean, it's correct. And it's going to bring, like, the happy days back, hopefully. I only want to stop the Absolute.
I protect my master. What becomes of his master, I care not.
Fair.
Pass, then. But I will be watching.
We can live with that. My sense seemed to trigger a memory in you. What was it?
Not your scent. Selûnite magic on your
Was aber
skin.
that dark urge.
The general once smelled that way when his daughter still lived. I died the same night she did, my master says, trying to protect her. I do not remember. But he brought me back. I will not fail him again.
What kind of dog has that messed up jaw and teeth? True. I mean, the long teeth in the front are just like off the armor, but like, how damn long are those teeth? I don't know, it's the Mabari equivalent in BG3. And hey, Layla! Layla? I think Layla. I hope that's right, otherwise please correct me. How are you doing? Also BG3 fan? But yeah, I'm good. Enjoying BG3 as usual, and it's been really cool to play the Dark Urge. It's my second playthrough of the game. Or, well, more than my second one, but my second one on stream.
What's that?
Elder Brain Domination. Yeah, and all the theories so far, if you didn't already know the ending of the game, about maybe an Elder Brain being connected to all those tadpoles, kinda proved true now. Let's have a read. Confidential. Dictated to describe Yanthus by General Catherick. Young Gortish's plan to enslave an illithid Elder Brain and make it our marionette under control of the Crown of Karsus proceeded almost without flaw, bearing the slight delay while our Bardus allies sorted out their leadership conflict. The weak point must surely be sharing of the Netherstones. It was necessary to secure my engagement and that of the murder cult, but eventually it's certain to fracture our fragile alliance. Clearly, all three Netherstones must be controlled by a single leader, me, by preference. But not until after all the stakeholders have made their essential contribution. Gortish fears out, energized by the dark energies of the Crown, the reign we now call the Absolute will eventually metamorphose into something new and more difficult to control. If he's right, the need to invest the power of the Netherstones in a single wielder is urgent. Even more so, in that Enver Gortash, at least, must be thinking the same way. Yeah, it feels like way less of a big reveal, cause I think most of the people here in the chat, and I, do know that. But yeah, this is finally the point where you know it's something about an Elder Brain, they're somehow controlling it. It's also a little bit connected to Karsus, the guy Gale talked about already. And yeah. Apparently, since we know that Gortash is following Bane, it's also about the Death Free, the gods. I'm fine, how are you? I'm doing good, just a little tired, lots of lack of sleep, but that just sometimes happens to me. And besides that, I'm good. Also fan of BG3. Oh, and thanks so much for following. Much appreciated.
Very well.
I wonder... I really thought that the dog would also recognize us, because apparently everyone else seems to.
Yes, soldier.
We can ask to pet the dog. Let's do that. Also, what's up with our staff? I think it's going right through us. That doesn't look very... Oh no, actually we're just missing half our body. What the heck? Body dysfunction. Slightly. At first I was just like, is our staff piercing us? But wait, no. Things that happen. Would it be right if I gave you a scratch?
You'd be the first of the general's soldiers brave enough to try.
Brave is my middle name. Besides stupid and careless.
All right.
Now our
that's
buddy's
enough.
back. Ah. Pet all the dogs. Now our buddy's gone again. I'm not sure what's happening. But anyway. Where are you from? I'm currently living in Germany. How about you? Invasion plans for Baldur's Gate. Yeah, there are lots of spicy information in here. A map of Baldur's Gate, depicting Upper City, Lower City, and Outer City as far as Worm's Crossing, as well as Grey Harbor and the near course of the Jon Tower. Arrows show the intended progress of the armies of the Absolute, with weak points in the city defenses marked with an X. I really want to conquer the whole city. Invasion plans for the South Coast, and not only the city. A map of the Sword Coast, from the Sea of Moving Ice down to just the north of Am, including several of the near archipelagos in the Sea of Swords. A large red arrow stretches out from the east, then branches into numerous small arrows, fanning out across the land to signify the Absolute's planned conquest. Nice country. Yeah, it's alright. Where are you from? A rich and fertile land. That kind of seems to be different than the other documents. Yeah, Baldur's Gate have been sieged by bigger and better than you, Catherick. True. And lots of times. This ancient map depicts the area surrounding Moonrise Towers in detail, depicting a profusion of local fauna, deer, rabbits, black bears, and flora, with special emphasis placed on areas for prolific foraging. Ooh, and also invasion plans for Altogard. Gosh. The city which was just plunged into Avernus. A map of Altogard, centering on the city of Altorel and showing the nearby towns of Trial, Scornable, and Burdusk. A series of concentric lines surround the city, with all avenues of escape blocked off. Plans for siege. We want to go all out. There's a mimic in the room afterwards. What? I never knew. If you kill it with fire and some explosives, you will get an amulet that you wouldn't get otherwise. Ooh. Nice, thanks for telling me.
Well, hello.
Okay, but before we do that,
Easy.
let's open this chest. 14. Catherick, I expected more from you. Fireball! Cloak of Elemental Absorption. Absorb elemental damage once per short rest. Take half damage from the next... so basically it's absorb element like automatically. That's cool.
Where am I?
Anna, cloak
What's
are we
going
wearing?
on?
Once per time when you kill an enemy, you shut yourself in primeval darkness to become invisible. That's actually quite nice, because it just gives us advantage.
For the wicked, I see.
Maybe for Gale? Yeah, I think Gale's wearing just the Red Princess cloak. It just looks nice. And see. Letter to Catherick. My darling husband, I know my time is drawing near. I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave our little girl. But I'm not writing to lament or not. It's ours and no others. Though the city of judgment is dark, I know Our Lady's light will find me even there. I will see her shining spires and walk the silver gardens we've both dreamt of. I got my reward. I leave quite a task to you, yet, my heart. Seluna's light shines bright in our little one, but she will need a guide to keep on her path. I've no doubt that she will keep you on yours. It is the same path, Our Lady's path, and one day I know it will bring you both back to me. Only not too soon, I hope. I won't say goodbye. There's no loss, only temporary separation. How I love you. Forever, Melodia.
Seeing Fool's wife loved
His
him
dead
deeply.
wife.
Perhaps he was even a good man once.
And a Selûnite.
Never wanted the easy path.
Yeah. Seems like losing his daughter after losing his wife tipped him off. Ooh, unsent letter. Balthazar. I thank you for returning what was mine, and have no doubt all will be well once the war is won. After that, I believe our business will be concluded. A different life, better life, awaits. General Catherick Thorn. Is he planning on bringing back his wife, his daughter, both of them?
Never a dull moment.
How long have you been alive? You mean how old I am? Or why do you ask? Attracting Drow exiles. They really did this quite thought through, quite systematically, thinking about like who, like which groups are like easiest to attract, right? Like, how old are they? That's a funny way to ask that. Yeah, instead of going to Shar, I have to try to find someone with true resurrection. Yeah, I mean, in general, they kind of seem to exclude, like, resurrection spells, like, lore-wise, right? Because, I mean, even being, like, a high-ranking, or even, like, a normal follower of, like, Selûne, shouldn't we be able to find, like, some cleric to revive? I mean, raise that as a level 5th spell. It's not impossible to use. Swelto's Ethic of War. I wonder what kind of Ethic of War Catheric's following. The Ethic of War, by Christina Swelto. My colleague Maps proposes fair rules of engagement in times of war, and forgiveness upon victory. Are we to spare our enemies, then, once they have fallen to our mice? Are we to put all hatred behind us when surrender is offered? Indeed not. But what shall we do once our opponent gathers new armies and masses them once again along our borders? We shall wage another war, and count their lives snuffed out by our own magnanimity. Once an enemy kingdom is conquered, it must be razed to the ground. Once then can we be free of its spectre. Yeah, and I guess Catheric was following that, in the war against the druids and the, druids and the harpers is the word. Oh dear. Apostle Diary. Curious. Most of the text has been scoured away by time, but what remains appears to be some form of ritual incantation. White rips the pillars. You bleed skull the dome. Take on Apostle's final form. Cathedral wrought of blessed bone.
Catheric's been studying something called the Apostle. But of which god?
Sounds quite ominous, right? And I mean, given that we read his letter here, beneath the loose planks, given that we know he's working together with, like, a chosen of Bane and also of Baal, quite sure he's following Merkel. I'm not sure, Juniper, if there's need to ban. I have a very similar suspicion that is someone just to, like, just like wanting to share some kind of deal or whatever. But I think until they do that, I wouldn't ban.
But that will fit in my
Of
back.
course, I don't know. But yeah, I would agree that it seems sus. Maybe I'm also too naive. I don't know.
Can't afford to stay idle.
Alright. Let's... If we don't need to open this door, of course, I think then we're just... Or maybe we do. I think we weren't in here so far. But I guess once we enter here, we're going to be attacked. Okay, maybe let's go here, and then we can exit through here and have a look around.
Let's crack it open.
We've got a long road ahead. These boots have seen everything.
They avoided answering every question that you or the others asked, and they made their account 6 days ago, so I assumed. No need to apologize. I think you're right. Maybe I'm too nice. Maybe we should let, like, maybe that's a good reason to ban. Ew, a Crescent Moon earring. Don't worry about it. I guess you're right, just leave it. That's the chest, Ethan. Where's the chest? There's the chest. Okay, Crescent Moon earring. Single bronze earring shaped into the Selûnite symbol of a crescent moon. Death and divinity, a godly guide. And yeah, definitely well spotted. Death is too powerful a force for even a single god to contain. I think we already had that. Anyway, let's read it again. For even a single god to contain, it is a duty that has been passed from hand to hand, splintered into smaller pieces. Disease, war, funeral rites, but there must always be an overseer of the cycle as life falls away. For countless aeons was Durge, the lord of the end of everything, presided over mortality with his unblinking stare, until even he grew weary. Young Baal, Bane, and Merkel must have thought themselves conquerors when they came for the god of death, yet he used their ambitions to free himself. Merkel claimed primacy over death from Durge's bargain, but even he does not rule death alone. And he saws a lot about undeath. What is murder, if not the most violent of deaths seized by Baal in his incessant greed? What need would there be from a noble Kalimvor to judge passing souls, if one deity could hold the process entire? Even gods can die, after all. Those who worship death should remember that above all else. Okay, do we have to attack the chest with fire to begin? Like, only use fire damage? Trade the black here.
Melodia Thorn, loving mother, beloved wife. Her light will never be forgotten.
Let's see what this does.
Balloon's devotee. This diary records the life of John Medowin. I think we read that before. Yeah, we saw that at the Shrine of Selûne. The lycobrand, the werewolf. Okay, here we can go outside. It's so crazy to think about, like, Moonrise Towers used to be like a center of like saloon worship and what it turned into. Boy, even with throne here. Kefric. Not very humble. And I mean, also quite the journey from being like a follower of Selûne to being like the chosen, like high position in Char's following, and now working for Merkel. Right, I'd say let's follow Marachan's recommendation and attack the chest. And there we go. Hello, little mimic.
Allow me to demonstrate. A rough tempest I will raise.
Didn't we pick like Scorching Ray of Gale?
Cut
Oh, well. Okay, here we go. Fire time. Yeah, Catherick has such a wild story. Love this background story. It is so nice, and I mean it's by far the nicest one of like all 3 chosen ones you encounter, because it has like the most depth, and there's like such a long time to introduce the character, and like so many characters tied to him. It's really great. Come on, burn for me.
Time to push my luck
Pick
again.
Lavender can't use any fire damage. You have to one-shot it, otherwise the amulet will not spawn. You have to one-shot it with fire? How am I supposed to deal 75 points of damage, fire damage? That is so oddly specific. Sorry, didn't understand that. I mean, even with a Searing Smite on level 4, wouldn't work. Oh well. Then let's just do it the normal way. Here we go. With Fireball and some explosives. Ah. Insane that they reward that. Our story is definitely also good, but Kefri takes the cake. I mean, it's just also like the most complicated and like in-depth one, right? You don't like the story of the handsome young man? I'm shocked. So much loot. One shot that, I could never. I think what Marachan says, like, with all the explosive, it actually works. I misunderstood you, Marachan, sorry. I thought you just meant, like, you have to kill, like, only with fire damage. didn't think you would need to be able to one-shot it. But like, one-shotting it without knowing is really crazy. What handsome young man. What handsome young man indeed. Or is that an actual question? Oh well. Spine Shatter Amulets. Crackling Resonance. When the wearer deals damage with a ranged spell attack, inflict 2 reverberation. Yeah, I think I look at that all the time and it's just not worth it. Nyeh. YouTube recommended me a video showing it. It is so insane what kind of like small little details and Easter eggs and like hidden gems all the people find, and like how often you can play the game and still discover new stuff just like that. Stained letter. Let's read it. My darling daughter, when you were a little girl, I would often watch you play with your dolls and your cousins and picture myself an enormous, opaque, silvery shield surrounding you, protecting you. I knew somehow, deep within myself, that no harm could ever befall you, because I would not let it. Though the healers say I may pass into the City of Judgment soon, know this, darling daughter. I'm always around you. I'm always with you. And the Moon Maiden will never allow you to be a burden you cannot carry. I love you forever, a love that has no death. And then she died. Yeah. A glowing silver shield, just like the dome around Last Light Inn. Am I right? Okay. BG3 has so many details. Evil autocorrect, for real. I think we can climb down there actually. Because beside that we can just like have a look around here. So I would say let's go down here and have a look around.